If you wanna stay with me, if you wanna try, maybe you could be with me, but only for the night.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Board Game Specialist. I am Melanie.
And I'm Carla.
And we are on episode 116. And today we're going to be talking about our favorite games, our top 9 games that we played over the course of 2 board game marathon that we had. Carla recently sold a restaurant and she's about to start a new job, but there was a gap there that she was completely unemployed, retired,
Still
we'll
am.
say. And I took advantage. So I was like, so Carla, if I schedule a couple of days off, should we? And she was gung-ho for it as well. So we had 2 days that we had spent where like the evening of the previous day and then all day and played board games. And we played a lot of board games. I think was it like around not quite 30, but around like 24 to 29 each day.
Yeah.
Or each session.
Over 50 for sure.
Over 50, yeah.
The 2 marathons, yeah.
Yeah. And then we did so well too, because we prepared for it. It's like, okay, here's the list of games that we concentrate on playing my unplayed games. Mm-hmm. So my unplayed games is looking pretty good. Instead of 23% unplayed, it's 22% unplayed now. But so we prepared, we made a list. We took time to watch the tutorials and kind of prep to be able to play these. And then the first session especially, we had a list and we highlight and cross it off. It's like, all right, cross it off. Next game, okay, cross it off. And then we have it know exactly what we're putting on the table. So it was smooth. Second session, we ran out of games on the list. We needed a bigger list.
Yeah.
But
because we were mostly trying to play off Your Shelf of Shame. So we got most of those games were from Your Shelf of Shame. So we got a big chunk off there.
Why is it that we weren't playing off Your Shelf of Shame?
I didn't have one at the time. I do have a little bit of one now. Because I went to Gobfest and bought some games. But at the time, I think I had one. I brought one that I had.
That's funny. My Shelf of Shame is down to 230 now. Thanks to those 2 game days. But yeah, so we're going to be doing a big list of all the one. Now I should point out, elephant in the room, we're a few days late. So it's Tuesday now. We're supposed to post this video on Monday, and that's my bad because we scheduled to record. And what's happened is I totally lost, it was such a busy week for some reason. I lost track of what day it was. And she's like, are we recording today? And I'm like, I don't even have the presentation ready. So no. So let's do it on the weekend. And you're like, I'm gone to Gobfest. So you just attended Gobfest, which is the board game convention in Edmonton. Now, I normally attend that one, and I didn't this year because I'm attending a 4-day mountain board game retreat this coming weekend. So I didn't want to be gone 2 weekends in a row. But tell us a little bit about Gobfest. How was it?
Oh, it was great. It's always a good time. I didn't actually register for a lot of games because I kind of registered late. I was waiting to see if, because the job I'm doing, I'm actually going to work at a golf course. So this was always my retirement dream, to go work at a golf course in the summer, spring, summer, fall, I guess I should say. And there was a chance that I could have been working if the weather was good. But fortunately or unfortunately, however you want to put it, the weather was not good. So I did get to go. So I didn't actually schedule a lot of games. So I just kind of free-falled it. And I do that a lot of times too, because I never worry that I'm not going to find a game to play.
No, right?
So I played a lot of older games that I knew and loved, and I had the best time. I played one game of viticulture, and I met so many people. I met a new friend who lives near me who doesn't have anybody to game with.
What?
And she's so excited. Yes.
Yes.
Her name's Irina, and she was just so happy. She just kind of lives near Olds, and so
oh my
gosh, yes, you have to join our game group. And so anyway, it was so sometimes I feel like I'm put somewhere because then there's like, you're just meant to meet somebody sort
Yeah.
of. So, but we were playing this long game of viticulture. We were all having a great time, and it was like a social game of viticulture because we were talking and bantering back and
fun.
forth, and we had so much fun. And then I played another game of Lost Ruins of Arnak, like games that I know well and love, and just had the best time. Played a lot with one of our listeners, Matt was there, and so Friday night I got to play a ton of games with him.
And I'm really glad he was there because he took
He's the only one who took pictures. So
appreciate that, Matt.
Some
Thanks.
pictures on the Discord of my games, but when I'm at a convention, I do not think of taking pictures. At home, that's the first thing I do is take pictures of games now. But at conventions, I'm sort of in a different zone, and I don't know. I just kind of float around, play games, and do all kinds of things. But yeah, no, I had a great time. So I'm looking forward to hearing what your weekend will be like.
I'm excited too. This is my first time attending this event. This is an event they do every year, but it's a private event, so it's invite only. And I've been invited for years, and I was never going. I think because I was going to Gobfest, so I was like, okay, you know what? I'll try this one out, and then I think it's gonna be great. Like it's at a YMCA in the mountains near Banff, so like or on the way to Banff, right? So and then the cabin, like it's huge, like and like the windows and like it looks amazing just from the pictures of past events that I was looking at. So nice. I think it's gonna be really great. Plus, so includes room and board like for the weekend, like your room for the weekend. Plus they have a chef that comes on that takes care of all the meals. So I think it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, that'd be nice. And you'll get lots of pictures for sure.
I will. Yeah. Matt's not there to take my pictures, so I'll have to do my own. Sounds good. So we're going to be doing today our top 9 games of what we played on those couple of game events that we hosted, just me and you, Carla. And we're like, I've got to say, like, we're like board playing machines. Now, it's April 1st today. So, and I was impressed because we kind of look at our stats for the month. I've played 88 times in the whole month of March. But Carla, how much did you play in March?
I don't know. What was it, like 250 or 252 or something? It was one of my highest months.
You can tell somebody's not working right now and she's been taking advantage. It was amazing.
262.
262. In 1 month. Some people like hope to get that in a year.
Yeah. I play a lot of games, especially now. I was telling Mel that I pretty much play every day. Like, somebody, my husband or my kids or friends, whatever. I just wrangle somebody in every day to play something. And then I still play a lot of solo, obviously. But no, I am not getting bored of board gaming. That's for sure.
No. Yeah. You're the most specialist out of this specialist group for sure. But we are going to start with you. So before we get to our list, what have you been playing lately?
Well, I purchased this game that I had been thinking about for a while, and mostly on looks and the fact that it's like an abstract strategy game. This game is called Diatoms. Now, I did not know what diatoms were, but they're actually a thing. So it's actually was an art form that some Victorian naturalists did when they would study different algaes and things like that. So they would actually take different samples of algaes, which are different colors and like beautiful, like little tiny mosaic type creature things, and they'd put them on their microscope, and then they would make designs out of them. They'd literally make mosaics out of algae.
And so this is like scientific art.
Yes. And so then I think they like would have contests and things, who would have like the best one. And so it's really cool because in the game you have it comes with these little petri dishes, and each of the dishes will fit in a certain shape of a diatom, and there's all different colors in each petri dish, but there's 5 or 6 different there's 6 different shapes. No, it's 5. There's 6 different shapes. Yeah. No, 5. There's 5 different shapes. That's right. And so there's 5 different dishes. And then so you have all these different colors of like, and they're like shimmery. I just have like the base ones. You can apparently you could have upgraded to like wooden bits for like the Kickstarter. But the cardboard ones are actually quite beautiful too because they kind of shimmer a bit.
Nice.
So you have all these little diatoms, and then you have this player board, which is like a mosaic, a base mosaic, and you can put in each little spot, it'll hold two different shapes, and they're like dual layered, so you can only fit two in there. Like if you tried another shape that didn't work, it's not going to actually fit in that spot. So what you're doing is you also have these hexagons that you are going to place on a central board or like a central area that everybody's going to place, and you're going to place them in a way that you'll connect them. And then if you have this little magnifying glass, and then you're going to place it on top, and you're going to see which colors are in that, like under the magnifying glass. And depending how many different pieces of pie, basically, of that hexagon, you are going to take certain diatoms. So if you had like a piece of a 1 green and 2 blue and then a 3 red, you would take certain diatoms. Like each of them have like a number. So a circle is a 1, and then these little kind of skinny ovals are like a 2, and then the triangles are 3, the squares are 4, and the stars are 5. And if you happen to get a 6, so if you had all your shape like under the little the magnifying glass, then you'd have a 6. So you can split it into 2, and you can divide it like a 3-3, a 2-4, a 1-5, however you want. And then you're going to place those onto your board. And so what you're trying to do on your board is, it's actually quite a different game solo than it is multiplayer, but I have played both. The multiplayer one, what you're trying to do is there's like a game goal that everyone's kind of trying to achieve. Ours was, excuse me, you're trying to connect all of one color. So the biggest group of one color, you're going to get some 10 points per that you connect. But the base scoring in it is you're trying to get different colors. Like there's 3 kind of circles in the mosaic, and in each circle you're trying to get all different colors and shapes. And depending if you can get either just different colors or just different shapes or both, you're going to get bigger points. And so you go around to the middle circle and then the outer circle, and you're going to check that as well. And then, excuse me, you're also going to look along the center lines and the diagonal lines and try to like mirror image shapes or colors. You'll get points for that. And then the last one, I'm forgetting what the last scoring basic was, but it's just kind of all like everyone has a score sheet, and it's very clear what each of them says. So you can kind of look at the score sheet as you're playing to see what you're trying to accomplish. But it was just really cool and such a beautiful abstract strategy game, and plays quite different solo. Like I said, in a solo game, you're just trying to get, they flip over like a mosaic, and you're trying to complete as much of that as you can for certain points. But it was just so beautiful, and I just love it. And it's just a really good like production of this game.
Yeah.
And such a neat kind of art form that I've never heard of before, but it's very cool. And yeah, so I'm pretty happy with that one. What about you? What have you been playing?
Yeah, so, and I'm trying to remember which one it is that I put on here. Me and Lee have been playing a couple of games lately, and one of them is Don't Go In There. Just the production value of this game is unreal. I got a gift card from my work, and I was like, well, that means I got to buy a game. So I went kind of looking on Amazon, and Amazon.com has lots of great game deals. Amazon.ca, not so much. And I saw this one. I was like, yeah, you know what? I kind of want to try this one. But when you open this box, first of all, like it's magnet flap on the top. So you flip the top magnet, you open it up, and the box becomes a dice tower. And you pull the insert out and everything's in there. Then you put the insert back in, and now you have your dice tower. Then you have the dice, and I show the dice on the side there because I was like, I think maybe these glow in the dark. So I went in the bathroom, and I'm holding them, and they completely glow in the dark, which is completely useless. I'm never going to play this game in the dark. But I love it anyways. I love when there's glow in the dark. And these dice are so cool because there's like little pumpkin, like jack-o'-lantern faces on them. And it's one of those games where you're trying to score as low as possible. And it has a bit of a push your luck. So you're going to take turn placing a meeple on one of the locations. And you can go into like very first pick or second, third, or fourth. And you're going to put your meeple there. And they're going to have like flashlights assigned to it. The first one has no flashlight. The second position has one flashlight, then two flashlights, then three flashlights. And what's going to happen is this is because flashlights will protect you from ghosts, right? This has like a kind of like a cartoon spooky theme to it that's kind of fun. Actually, it's a lot of fun. And like the tokens, you get these little ghost tokens, and ghost tokens are going to translate into points, which you don't want. But yeah, so you're going to position yourself in one of those positions. Now, the higher up you go, the less flashlight protection you have. You're going to have first dibs at the cards that are up there, and you'll pick a card, and then that gets added to your tableau. But the cards are worth what are they called? Like not a hex, but like anyway, so like bad things with it, right? And you get certain points, and you're trying to get as little of those as possible. But the cards have a certain value, but the cards also have a different ability as well that will activate different time. So we play with the twins, and the twins are worth points unless you can find their identical twin. That if you get both cards that are the identical twins, and those cards aren't going to score anything, you get to flip them down. Then you're not cursed. That's what they're called. Then you don't have those curse anymore. But at the location, when a third meeple gets placed at the same location, that triggers like we were going to reconcile that location. And depending on the cards, it shows how many dice you're going to need to roll. Then it could be like what card has 1 or 2 dice. So there's 3 cards at each location. So you grab those dice, you put them down the house there, and then you count however many faces has roll. So the face are ghosts that are haunting you, but you can scare them away with a flashlight. So if I'm in a location that has 2 flashlight, we rolled 3 ghosts, I only have to collect 1 ghost. If you had no ghost, then you're taking all 3 ghosts. But some of the cards will mitigate, like will allow you to discard some of your ghosts, or will move the ghost to another player. But you also set the deck ahead of time. So we didn't play with all, we play with about half the deck. So each time you're going to bring out different set of cards to play with. So the game's going to be a little bit different as well. Like it's super simple, but it was so satisfying. Like this is 100% a Halloween game.
Yeah.
And I'm buying it for Easter apparently, but but it was so neat, and it's just so thematic, and it was really fun. Like it was just like a very simple, straightforward. Like if you're looking for nice, deep strategy, this isn't it. This would be like very family friendly, but it was so cool, and that was the game. Don't Go In There.
Cool. Yeah, I remember seeing this on the picture you posted of your new games.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, because I got a bunch of like spooky games.
Yeah.
But so we're going to get started with our top 9. And we're going to start with you. So in number 9 position out of our board game marathon, what's your number 9?
So this one was Babylonia. I had wanted to try this one out for a while. So we pulled this off the shelf when our friend Kayla came and played with us one night. Actually, both first nights of the marathon. She came.
Yes.
The first week we did it. She came the first evening, and I'll talk about what that game later on in the episode. But she came and played. We quite late. She stayed till about 3-4 in the morning. We stayed up quite late and played.
Yeah.
And this was one of the last ones I think we played, wasn't it? It was close to the end.
It was. Yeah, it was towards the end for sure.
Yeah. But this one is like an area control game, I would say, but in a different way. It's not like a boar area control. It's I don't even know how you explain Reiner's kind of area control, because to me it's like it's a friendly area control.
It's like a placement area control. Yeah.
It is, but you will help other people sometimes when you go there because they get to score as well. So it's very similar to a lot of his other kind of games like this. Like there's Cascadero and all kinds of different games that have a similar vibe to it. But this one always intrigued me because of the look of it. I love all the colors and just the theme behind it and everything. So what you're doing in this game is you all have certain colors of like discs kind of thing with different icons on them. And you start with, you put them in a pile kind of thing, and you draft, I think it's about 5 or 6 at the beginning. And you just will place your little, they're like little hexagon chits on the board. And you can start anywhere, but then you kind of have to go off of yourself or someone. Can you go, now I can't remember, can you go off someone else, or is it always off yourself?
You can place anywhere.
Yeah. Okay.
You're not limited as to where you place. You can go anywhere. Yeah.
So you're trying to like surround different things because then you will score and you might collect that disc that's in the middle. You're trying to connect other things so that when other people score, you're involved in it kind of thing. And it's just like a real different type of scoring because there's a few different things I'm not going to talk about because I almost forget, but I did really enjoy this game. And it shocked me because I was intrigued and I'm like, why am I intrigued? I don't like area control. But with his type of area control, I think it's the positive player interaction. Anytime there's something that could be not typically mean, but take that, but then they throw in positive player interaction, it really intrigues me because it's like they've taken something like a basic risk and added stuff to it to make it fun for people who don't like that, you know? And it was just really cool. I think we were all pretty close near the end.
I think I was dead last by a bit.
Oh, yeah. No, I thought we were all close, but it was really neat. And it's like a fast playing game. I think we played this in under an hour, including your teach. So it was like a super fast, like you could literally teach anyone this game and play it in, an hour or so. I think it went up to 4. It was just, we played a 3-player game, but it was really cool. And I've heard it compared to like, is it Yellow and Yangtze?
Okay, yeah. And you know what? I find those two games are very different. There's a lot more take that in the Yellow Yangtze one compared to this one. This one definitely is more tame and more not strategic, but like people can't undo what you've done.
Yeah, right.
What's the other one? They definitely can.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, so there's a big difference then. But no, this was really cool. I really liked it. And yeah, that's my number 9, Babylonia.
Babylonia, nice pick. All right, my number 9 is a game that we played. Now, we've talked about the 2-player version of this game a lot, and there's a board game version that I had never played, and I was really curious about it, and it was on my shelf of shame. So Carla made it happen, and we played Lost Cities, the board game. And honestly, because we played it just 2 players.
Yeah.
And it still worked really well at 2 players. And I wouldn't have been like, oh, but I would have rather play Lost City Duel or, but I didn't. Like, this worked. And it worked in a completely different way. But you can definitely see the similarities. Because in Lost Cities, you're going on these excursions. And as soon as you start an excursion, you're on a negative and you're trying to build it up. In this one, it's the same thing, except you're physically seeing yourself along this excursion and you're moving your pawn around. And you're going to decide, okay, which one are you going to start? Which one are you not going to start? Because you have the cards you have to start with. We're like, well, if I do the white one, like I have a couple of low numbers because it's the same as the card game version. Like you need to place your cards in numerical orders. If you skip a number and you get that card later, you can't go and tuck it in there anymore. And you're trying to get further in to score higher, and it's posted on the board. So you start, it's -20, then -15, then -5, -10, then you get to +5, then 10, 15, and so it goes up the further along this excursion that you go. One thing that was really unique to this that was really cool as well is you will kind of hit these locations that have like an ability of some sort. Either it gives you extra points or it allows you to like accumulate these different things you're going to be collecting, and the more you have, the more points they're worth, or allows you to move one of your peons, what is it, meeple, I guess, one spot further, either on that track or any other track. Now you love your combos, and you were able to combo-tastic this to death. And then all of a sudden, I'm moving it here, and I'm moving this one here, which triggers this, and I'm moving this one there, which triggers that. And then as all of a sudden, she's moved like 5 steps all across the board. And it was like, what? And you're just trying to keep going. And then once 3 meeples have passed a bridge, it triggers the end. Then you score where your meeples are at that point. And yeah, I think we played 3 rounds, and then whoever has the most points after 3 rounds.
Full game, yeah.
Yeah, it was
quick.
It was quick. It's satisfying. And there's like, playing is like, darn it, I started this one. I was really hoping there'd be more cards, and we're still discarding in the different colors. And I was like, discard this one already, or I'm holding on to cards that I don't want to hold on to, but I don't want to put them down because you haven't passed that mark yet, and I don't want to help you on your expedition. But this cardboard version, or the cardboard version, the
board game
version of this card game was so good. I absolutely loved it. It was good. It was fun. I'm glad I own both. I'm going to own both and try to play both, but this is my number 9, and that was Lost Cities, the board game.
And what's nice about this too is that you can play it at 3 or 4. So you can't play Lost Cities, the card game.
True.
So, and also, I don't know, did you mention the big explorer? He's doubler? Like he's a doubler?
No,
so
I didn't.
Whatever points he gets is double. So you're always trying to get him the furthest, which, no, I really liked it. It gave me a feel of, Lost Cities, but like sort of like a race to El Dorado too, because you're just trying to kind of get ahead. Like, it's not really a race game, but it just gave me that excitement when I'm playing that, like, oh, I'm so close to getting to the end. And this one's like, oh, I got to get more points than her this round. And no, it was awesome. This was probably my number 10. Like, we played so many good games that it was hard.
We did. Well, honestly, I can't say there was one game that was like, ugh. Like, I like them all.
Like, I don't know. I don't think there was any we didn't like. But yeah, no. So, good pick. All right, so we're down to my number 8. My number 8 was Scandaloh. Now, this one is like a sequel to Awkward Guests. And I remember I had seen it on, and you had mentioned you had wanted it a long time ago. And I was like, it's on Bliss for, I think it was like something stupid, like $20 for like the Kickstarter
ridiculous
version. I'm like, Mel, do you want this? You're like, yes. Like maybe even under 20, because it had such bad reviews. And so I don't know if that's why they did that. But anyway, so I ordered it for you. You got it. And that was probably a year ago almost that you got it, right?
Yes.
Like it was quite a while
Sounds
ago.
like me.
So I'm like, we need to play this game. So we played it. And yeah, it's awesome. It's very, very similar to Awkward Guests. You are, drafting these cards of information and you're trying to figure out this crime. It's just kind of a different theme. It's more about a scandalous political kind of... not crime, but more, well, I guess it is a crime, but you do the
You're trying to unravel the scandal, right?
Yeah, unravel the scandal. And so you are doing the same thing as with the card play where, you start with a hand of cards and then the information I'm looking for, there's this central board, which I don't remember if they have that in Awkward Guests where you choose those 3 things. Is that how you do that there too? Yeah? I haven't played that one in a long time. So you choose like up to 3 things and then you say, like, I'll say, Mel, I want information on these 3 things. And so it's either like one of the main characters or like a location or something. And you look at your cards and you're like, okay, well, I'm willing to give you this much information. And you'll look at the value of the cards and it might be like, I'll give you a value for information. And so if I want to see that, I need to give you back a value for information. And at least one of those things you give me has to be the thing I asked for. I think we ended up giving each other everything we asked for. Like none of us like bluffed each other.
No, a couple of times there wasn't something available.
Yeah,
and
or
in
it was
that
something
case,
you had already seen. but I don't
Yeah.
think we ever like screwed each other. So
Well, I don't
we
think
just,
you can.
but you
really.
could have, because couldn't you have just given one card that had the actual information, and then you could have given me
Yeah,
other
I could
cards
have.
that didn't?
I could have
right?
withheld some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so we did this, and you just kind of go back and forth until someone is close to guessing, and you totally guessed this like way before I even had a clue. I think I had one piece, like there's what you need, the who, the what, the where, or something, and I had one of those things and wasn't even close to the like the what or something, the weapon or whatever it was, but it was it's really neat. And if you are watching this, you can see just the colors of the sheet that you're using, and then even like the player boards, like that, the screens that you use, they are like all very the explanatory, like they explain like what you would be looking for, what kind of information. Then they have these like little kind of rooms on the top that have like different icons on it. So it's neat because when you ask for certain information, it'll give you like, oh no, those icons were not part of her thing, and then you can kind of go across them off up there. And it's really cool. Like I don't know why this game did not get good reviews. Like an Awkward Guess got such great ones. Like it's not much different, and it's just
Right?
color. Awkward Guess was very beige. I don't even know if there was a stick of color in that game. It was
No.
really good still, but it had color to it, and it's just that much more enjoyable to look at. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed this, and I know our friend Cherry would love this because she loves these kind of games too.
Nice.
And yeah, that's my number 8, Scandaloh.
Nice. Yeah. I quite enjoy that one. My number 8 is Vivid Memories. So this is a game that I purchased a while back. I like the look of it, and the components look super cool with those like plastic odd shaped tiles. And we got playing it, and it's such a tricky puzzle that you're trying to complete. And I absolutely love the play of it. So you have these tiles that you kind of flip over, and it's going to give you different actions you can do. You can either pull out one color tile and replace it with different colors, or you can do different things, and that's stuff that you're going to try to activate or collect that you will give you kind of different action you can do. But you start, there's tiles on those tokens, and you need to draw tiles from one end or the other, and you can take either one single color or two of the same color or three different colors, but then you place them all in the same little kind of spot on your board, and you're trying to connect or create patterns that will match what is on the other side of those action tiles. Because once you place them on your board, and if you're the last one to take a tile off a card, you take that card and you get that action. Then you can activate the action. And when you activate the action, you flip that card over and it becomes a scoring tile. And however many times you've completed what's on that scoring tile, you get to score that. And then that tile kind of goes into the completed section, and then you collect more tiles. So sometimes you'll get was like, whoa, this one is like complex and I don't have any of those colors and I'm not completing it. And it just stays there cluttering your board until you're able to complete its goal. But it was really cool. And you do like 3 rounds of this, I think it was. And then at the same time, you're trying to create path between the colors on your own personal board as well. And very color blind friendly, because you have like all the colors, but they have like the icon on there that also shows what the colors are based on the icon. And I thought this was just so much fun. I really, really enjoyed my play of it. The components, the look of the board, the puzzle aspect of it. I thought everything was great. So that's my number 8, Vivid Memory.
Yeah, I liked this one too. The only thing was, I thought at the beginning I had to connect the little chits had to be connected like by
Like point by point.
Yeah, point by point.
Yeah.
You're like, no. As long as
And that's how I thought it was
okay.
at first too. But
Oh,
yeah.
you did too? Yeah. I'm like,
Until we watched
okay,
the
that
tutorial.
makes it a bit easier. Yeah. No, it's really neat. Good
Yeah, because one
choice.
thing that was great with the event is we played in my game room, and I also have a TV in my game room, and we would play the tutorial real quick if we needed to refresh on the game. So we watched a quick tutorial of this one. It was a lot faster doing that than trying to read the rule book and learn to play. So
Yeah,
that worked out
if it
well.
was something we weren't 100% on.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah.
Mm.
All right. Well, my number 7 is a card game. This one is called Antiquity Quest. This is one of the Grandpa Beck's games. Now, what they do is they take a lot of games that are like traditional games and they kind of make a card game out of it. I don't think they do that with all of them, but this one is very similar to Canasta. So we've both learned Canasta when we were younger and played it. And so this is like I don't know if I'd say a lighter version of Canasta or just a more colorful version of Canasta. Less time consuming than Canasta, definitely. But what you're doing in this is, and you can play 2 players. You can play, I think it goes up to 4 or 5. I'm not sure what the player count of this one is, but
Right.
you start with 2 hands of cards, just kind of like your hand and your foot in Canasta. They call it something different in this one, but they're each 10 cards, and one of them is like placed face down, and you won't use that pile until you've completed your first one. And how you're completing piles is you're basically just making sets, and kind of like rummy style, like in front of you, you're wanting, certain colors together. Well, it's always colors, and then you could add wilds to it, but then there's these treasure cards that you can just build a whole set of treasures. And depending how you build these sets, like you can have kind of like in what they call in Canasta is clean or dirty. So in here it's just, they called it now I can't remember what their specific name for it was.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
But the neat thing is, and I don't think you can do this in Canasta, is that like as I'm trying to go out, I'm also trying to mess up your sets because I don't want you to have these perfect sets because they can be worth like 1,500 points, right? So I want to go out and get into my second deck, which is kind of like your foot, but I may want to mess up your like perfect, what did I call them? Gems? No, what were they called again? The wild ones. I think I said it, but now I forget.
I missed it, and I don't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember now what they're called, but you might have like almost a perfect set, and I throw one that is the same. You're still gonna get like, I think it's like 800 points, but I just took 700 from you because if you would have had made that perfect, it would have been 1,500 points. So it's kind of neat how you do that. So I had tried to do with you to go out really fast just to see, because the person who goes out first gets a 500 point bonus. So I'm like, I'm going to do that. But you ended up having more points than me because you had built more. So that isn't the best strategic way. I did play this with my brother and sister-in-law who are big Canasta players. I'm like, I got to show you guys this game because it's something you two could play together. Where it's not like and it's quicker than Canasta. So I taught them, and at first they were like, oh, but it's messing me up because it's not exactly like it. But then we played, I think 2 or 3 games, and they're like, okay, yeah, no, I get it now. And it was neat because you would like really you would kind of prolong it a bit so that you could make sure you had more points before you went out, because you don't want to go out if you're not going to have more points than the other people, right? And then how much we screwed each other's sets. And it was just, I think it's a game I could like play like weekly because I enjoyed it so much, and I just love the set collection of it, the fact that you can mess up other people's sets because that's how you're going to prevent them from getting the big points if you're not getting the good cards, right? And it's just neat because they had the 2 cards in there as well, just kind of like Canasta, where one you place down and you can take the pile, and you just have to take the pile and use that card that was on top. And sometimes you can make a whole bunch of points out of that. Or there's another card that can get rid of the pile completely so nobody else can take it. Or you just play one that will let you take 3 extra cards. So if you're like, I don't have anything going here, I can add more to my sets. But it was just, it's awesome. I do love those Grandpa Beck games. They have never failed me yet. So yeah, that's my number 7, Antiquity Quest.
Great pick. I love when they redo a card game. Because, I mean, you can play, there's a lot of games you can play with a regular deck of card. But when they make, like, a specific card game for that type of mechanism, I love everything about that. So
yes,
that's great. All right, my number 7 is a game that I mispronounced in a lot. So if you ever watch my old videos, like unboxing videos, and I talk about this, I would also mispronounce it because it's not spelt the way that it sounds. But this is one that I finally played the third game of this trilogy, and that is Viscount of the West Kingdom, not Viscount. Now, out of the 3, I think this is the one that plays it plays very different from the other 2 of the West Kingdom series. Technically, I don't know that I would still consider it a worker placement game because it's more like a movement.
It's a
and
rondel.
depending on where, right? So depending on where you land, which action you activate, and what you can do there. I mean, the artwork, the style, definitely matches the rest of the West Kingdom series. But then it was kind of neat. Like, would you try to move on the outside to kind of get where you would kind of collect your resources mostly, or do you want to go on the inside where you can kind of get the books or place your meeples into this middle portion? And then with the middle portion is you put them onto there, and then the more they cluster, then it would generate further movements, and you're trying to get them as deep inside as you can. And we played this 2 players, and it was good. It was great. I could see playing it 3 players. You would have I don't know, that middle would get so cluttered.
I know. That's what I thought too. That it would be packed in there.
Yeah, and then the different cards that you can collect because they're there. And it was interesting because you could hire them or discard them. There was different things that you could do with that card that would affect the things differently. And as things came up, there was things that would move down on your board, and depending on there was a lot going on because it would kind of they're moving down, and you activate them when they come up. No, I'm thinking it was a different game here.
The cards slide over.
Oh, okay,
and
good.
It will go off because
then you get to activate.
Yeah.
Yeah, because some had an action that happened when they came in. Some had action that you would reward when they left. And then some is well, it gives me a special ability while it's on my board. So I would kind of try to shift it so it would stay on the board. The whole thing was so interesting. It
was really good.
It was a really neat game. I do like this one from the West Kingdom series. And so different from the other 2. But it was so much fun. So that's my number 7, Viscount of the West Kingdom.
Nice. All right. Well, my number 6 is Bruxelles 1897. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but now this is the card game version. We actually played the board game version the first week we had the marathon, and then we played this card game version, which we both own, the second week. And I really liked it. I liked the board game as well, but I like the fact that they can take the card game and basically make it feel almost identical to the board game. It's just in a little bit lesser time, but it's just, I just loved it. It's such a unique game too, because what you're doing in this game is you have this kind of grid out in front of you that everyone can go play on. And how you play on it is you have these workers, and your workers are these cards in your hand. And each of the card will have a number on one side and a different number on the other side. So it might have a 1-3, it might have a 2-4. They're just all kind of different. Now you start with one of your workers in jail, everybody does, and then you have, I think, maybe 5 cards to work with until you would get someone out of jail. But what you do is the cards that are placed in this grid, or that are laid out in this grid, you're going to place a worker on top of them, and that's what action you'll do. But whatever number you place, that's how much money you have to pay. And so then money is also cards, so it's a different type of card, and on one side is $1 and then the back is 3, so it's kind of neat that way too. But the reason you might be placing a higher amount is you're also trying to get kind of control of that column. Because if at the end of the round, if you control that column, you get this cool action on the bottom. And it might be you get to take someone to jail. You might get to be first player. You might get to move up a certain track. There's different tracks in this game as well, which were identical to the big game, the same kind of tracks. You might want to purchase a piece of art. You might want to go to the gallery and sell it. You might want to go to the fair, I think it was called, and just display it. You might want to get some building material or build some buildings. You might want to, I don't know if you're hiring those people. And then the neat thing is you can either choose to keep them or you can just use their ability and toss them away. And the only reason you'd want to do that is because at the end of the game, you have to pay for them. So you have to decide, like, do I want to keep, using their ability throughout the game, but they're $3 that I need to pay at the end, which is a lot. Or do I just need this quick, like, hit of money or building materials or something and then just get rid of them? It's really neat. And then on top of that, each of the cards, like our workers, have these little designs in all the corners. And when you place them, if you actually match up all these designs that will make up like a emblem kind of thing or a crest, then you're going to get points on that. And it'll depend on how high you're up on the crest track. That's not what it's called, but so there's all these different things you're trying to think about. Basically almost the same as the board game. There's a little bit more in the board game, but they just did an awesome job on this card game, I think. Yeah. And I know when I had received it, like I had it, I think a couple years ago, I learned it and I was so excited. I played it with Cherry and she was just like, nah, it's okay. And I'm like, no, it's so good. So I was so happy when you're like, I want to learn the big game. I'm like, yeah, then we can learn the card game too. So, and it was it's so similar. But no, I think it's a hidden gem, this one, for sure. I really like it.
Honestly, I don't know why people don't talk about it more.
No, I don't either.
It's a great game.
It's my number 6, Bruxelles, 1897.
Perfect. My number 6, corrected a great wrong. Yeah. Yeah, with my number 6, we corrected a great wrong that was happening here. This is the game, one of the game that kind of started it all for the hobby for me, and Carla had never played it.
Oh, yeah.
And that was completely unacceptable. And so we played it. And then every time I play this game, it's like, oh, yeah, it is so good. And I still love it. And that is Lords of Waterdeep. So in Lords of Waterdeep, it's a worker placement game. You're placing your workers on these different locations in Waterdeep. And depending on where you go, what you activate, like you're collecting resources, which are different cubes, which are your adventurers. And you can go and purchase buildings, which gives you new locations for you to visit, or you can go get more quest cards, or you can get intrigue cards, or you can, activate an intrigue cards, or you can get gold. And there's all these different combination of what you can do on the board. And you also get quest cards, which has different requirements. So different colored adventurers, so the cubes are the different color that you need to be able to complete that quest, or money, combination of both. And when you complete them, it'll give you points that you would kind of record and take advantage of that. Now, we also have a secret goal where we're trying to do more of a certain type of quest than others. That would give you kind of extra points for that, possibly. Sometimes it's buildings, or sometimes there's different kind of final goal that you're trying to do. And you're going around doing all of this, and it's simple, it's straightforward. This is a nice, quick, easy game to teach and play, but it's so satisfying to play. And every time I play it, every time I introduce it new to people, it just goes over so well. I absolutely love this game, and that's my number 6, Lords of Waterdeep.
Yeah, it's a very smooth worker placement game, definitely. Yeah, it was a catastrophe that I had never played this game, but now I have.
Unreal.
And I would like to play it with a higher player count too.
Yes.
It's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And we actually recorded our play of that, so you can find that on my YouTube channel.
That's right.
Yeah, so good.
All right, my number 5 is Skyrise. This one I had been wanting to play for a while. As soon as I seen your pictures of your really nice deluxe copy, I thought, oh, this game looks so cool. And I'd heard it play so fast too. It looks like kind of like a heavier Euro game, but it's totally, I think we played this in like 45 minutes or something. And it's
it plays quick.
Yeah. It's an auction type game, and you all start with these like buildings of all different sizes, with all different numbers under them. And the neat thing is we don't have the same numbers under ours. So
Yeah.
when you're doing your auction, all you do is you place a building, and depending the number on it, so say I put a 3 building down, if somebody wants to beat me in that area, they would need to put a higher number. And so they could just put a 4. But wait, now it doesn't go in the same, it goes beside it. Right?
You have to be adjacent. Yeah.
It's adjacent to it. So then it just goes around until somebody just is like, no, I'm done. And then that other person who won it will get that area. And then everybody pulls their other buildings back. So now if I've like kind of forced you to use your high buildings, now I got a lot of power because I can just start placing buildings and you can't outbid me because we can see everybody's numbers, right?
Yeah.
You know what the highest number is. But then the same thing. As soon as I start placing my high ones, now you have the power and you can, decide where you want to go because I can't beat you. Now, it worked really well with 2. I didn't know. I was like, how is this going to work an auction game with 2? They don't usually work that well, but this one did. And so what you're also doing is when you go to these areas, you collect this little token. And the tokens will go on your player board, and you're trying to kind of push up those tokens to the end so that you can get big points, but you don't want to go too far because then you get, is it 0 or negative?
No, it goes back down to 4 instead of
right.
6. So it kind of...
You want to get the sweet spot. I think 6 was the sweet spot or whatever. But there's also other tokens that will give you... there's their letters, and you will get to peek at what's under these letters, and there might be big points under there or little points. And so if you know what those are, then you want to really go for all those letters on the board. There's what else is under those little tokens? I'm trying to think. There's not money, but there was something else. There was
there was one that kind of gave you points for every other tokens you had on your board.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So there's kind of and I think that was it. Like the letters, the different colors, and then the token one. But then if you ever fully maxed out a color and you get another one of those colors, every time you get an extra one that you put on your board, you got an extra 10 points for that.
Right.
So it's worth it if you go past the 6, then you can maybe benefit from it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then there's also like in-game goals that you're all kind of trying to accomplish or work towards. The first person to do it gets like, I don't know, something. But then the neat thing is at the end of the game, the end of the round, the first person to put all their buildings out gets this key. And you have like this very upgraded like large metal key that is really neat that you get to have. And then that gives you points if you have that at the end of the game too, I believe. So it's just kind of like a point salad game, but it's just neat how you go back and forth with the auction and figuring out like, well, I have this card that I want all the yellow the yellow areas, but I don't want her to know that's what I'm trying to get. But obviously that's what I am trying to get because you can see. So it's a really cool game and such a fast play. I'm really liking those like really thinky, meaty, quick ones because it's like you feel like so satisfied, but you've only played 45 minutes. So it's not like you have to play 3 hours to get that like really meaty game that you think takes forever. And I just love it. And that was my number 5, Skyrise.
If you're watching this on YouTube as well, you can see the picture that I put up. The picture I put up is not the upgraded component ones. That's
those are the
more the
ones.
retails. It's the wooden ones. So all of the
nice.
They're very nice. This is an amazing retail copy. And then instead of like a 3D board kind of or platform you put on the board, it's just like a cardboard platform you put on the board. But it looks amazing. So for retail, it looks amazing. Then if you go deluxe, it looks extra amazing. But yeah, this one is so unique. Like the bidding mechanism that is bidding / area control, because as you outbid, it changes the area control as well. Is so interesting. Absolutely love that one too.
Yeah.
So that was your number 5. My number 5 is a game that I talk about all the time. It makes my top 10 list all the time. I love this game. It is so good. And you mentioned that your husband wanted to try it, and I was just like, maybe you should teach me. And I'm like, yes, done and done. So we played Memoir 44, and that, like, you've played it now, and I don't know if you'll agree with me, but Memoir 44, for being an army game, doesn't have a really strong army feel to me. It plays fairly quick, and it's satisfying
it's very hard
to
play. Yeah. No, I agree with you now. Totally.
Yeah, so, and it's one thing that's neat as well is this replays the Battle of Normandy, so it's very historical accurate, right? And it kind of describes real quick, this is what was happening, it was this time, and this guy went there, and then these troops went there, and then this is what their goal, and then it describes what your goal is. And we did the Pegasus Bridge scenario, and that's one thing I like. It's scenario based, not campaign game based. I love scenario based.
Yeah.
I wish they would do that more. But so with this one, we're doing the Pegasus Bridge. So you were the allies, and you were trying to gain control of these two bridges that I was controlling. But you get points for destroying another troops, or you would get points in your case as well if you took control of the bridge. And you ended up winning.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to remember. I'm pretty sure you ended up winning.
This kind of game, I did not think I would win this, but I was like, what? Did I just win?
But it's just like, I mean, it's definitely army themed. There's no denying that at all. But it's a very satisfying game. And then the cards will kind of dictate which troops you can control and where you're going to move them. And are they, like if you're in the trees, you have extra coverage. So if they're attacking you, then they have to roll one dice less. Yeah. Now there's tanks, there's different things in play. We played with just a little army, guys. It was like the introduction scenario. So complexity can ramp up a little bit, but I think this game is it's just brilliant. This is a brilliant game. I have since bought Battlelore, which is more fantasy themed version of this game, which Battlelore came out first, I believe, but I haven't played Battlelore yet. Interesting. So yeah. Great game. I'm so glad I got to play it. And that's my number 5, Memoir 44.
Awesome. All right. My number 4 is Illiterati. Now, this one I owned as well. And I remember I seen it on your shelf and I'm like, oh, I can teach you that. So after the first marathon, I went home and relearned it just to make sure. And I'm like, next time we'll definitely play it. Now, this is a cooperative word building game, which sounds like, really? Mm-hmm. How can you do that? Well, they've totally pulled it off. You have the theme behind this game is there's this Illiterati, and they are trying to steal words and books and all kinds of things from the library. And we are trying to prevent them from doing that. So how we do that is we each have like a book that we need to bind, which is like a card in front of us, and we have a bunch of tiles, and then it's like a real-time kind of game, and we have so much time to make certain words and try to bind this book. And how we do that is the book might say you need to use 8 letters that make up food words, and 3 of them have to be purple kind of thing. So 3 of the letters. So you're trying to make up these words, like, food themed words and whatever. And we can kind of mix and match our tiles. I can use some of yours, you can use some of mine. And sometimes you might not even have the letters that'll work. I might not have enough purple or whatever. So I just have to get through that round. I just have to try to make as many words without having extras. Because if we have extras left over at the end of the round, they go into this library. And depending on what difficulty you're playing, if you have more than what it allows, then you have to shuffle all those tiles face down, pick one, and it goes into like this, I forget what they call it, like burnt book or something. And you can only have
burn tracker.
Burn tracker, yeah. You can only have so many before you would lose the game. But not just that, then at the end of the round, kind of like, if you're playing a cooperative game, there's always something bad that happens. So then we flip up the Illiterati card, and the first one that will come up, there's always something like they're going to take some of our letters, or they're going to make us not be able to use wilds, or like just they're going to do something. And so every round, a new one is going to come up. And if it matches the same character, then you have to do all of those again. So sometimes you might have 3 that you're going to have to keep doing every round, and they're stealing your letters and you end up with barely any, and then you have to just like survive the next round. But really, we played, I think, just a normal game where we had to just bind 2 books each. We had to bind 1 red and 1 blue, and they're a little bit different. But it was really fun, and we totally smashed it. We won, but we both do love word games, and it was a lot of fun. I really like this. And that was, my number 4, Illiterati.
Yeah, it was a neat spin on a word game. Like well, I mean, like you're putting words together, but the cooperative aspect of it was kind of interesting for sure.
Yeah.
Great pick. All right, my number 4. I had a hard time picking with my number 4 because we played the card game version, we played the board game version, and I love them both. But since you talked about the card game version, I decided to go with the board game version, and that is Bruxelles 1893. I was so impressed with how well the card game matched the feel of the board game, but the board game play was so good. One of the main difference that I would say is the market, and then as well as the action selection, because you flip a card each round and it tells you like a set of numbers. So if it was like 3-2, then you get this little card that you're gonna, or like it's like a corner, I don't know, bracket, I guess, like a corner bracket that you're going to put somewhere on the board. And it's going to dictate, depending on how you position them, which action is going to be available to you. So maybe it's like, well, okay, well, I know she wants to sell. So I'm going to put it this way. So there's not as many sell actions available. And I'll try to take, or different things. You can kind of decide, or maybe personally, you want to go and build, so you're going to try to make so that there's more build action available. And then, and interesting as well is as you collect the arts, if you decide you want to sell them, you go on this grid that has this little tile that you're going to move around, and you can move it so many spaces and then sell what you want to sell. And depending on where it moves, so you move it by 2, so you will move it the tile down 2, and then you kind of look at where your color is. Okay, great. So I moved it here, so now it gives me this much victory points and then this much money. But as you're moving it, it's devaluating, but it's affecting the values of the other colored art as well. So as you move on the board, it's going to affect the value of what the other art's going to be worthwhile as well. And sometimes that's your own art as well, because it's annoying if you move like the green to be in a great positive. Well, now the pink is worth almost nothing. So then that will take aspect as well. You still have the royals. You still have where you're trying to have the most influence in the 4 corners so that you can score the seals that is on the action selection area. Whoever has the most control on each row will also get whatever is at the bottom of the card. This one had the ability to be able to tuck some of those cards in that would kind of provide end of game scoring as well. The whole thing, this was such an amazing game. There's a lot going on with it. I wouldn't say it's a super, super hard game, but this is a bit of a heavier game. Like, it's not easy entry level game, but it was so satisfying to play. It's so good. I'm just surprised this one doesn't get talked about more.
There's a few people who talk about it and they love it, but just not a lot of people. Yeah.
Right. Like, yeah, it was so good. I was so impressed with all the different aspect of how this game played. And then the card game that captures the essence of the game so well. Love it. But yeah, I bought the card game version, I think, first, and found the board game version and played, but I had not played them until our weekends or our game days. And then, but so good. So good. So that was my number 4, Bruxelles 1893.
Nice. Well, my number 3 I've talked about on a couple episodes now. We played this. I talked about it in our adventure games. That's what it was. But it was played on the first marathon, the first night. We played Mansions of Madness. And I had been wanting to play this one for a long time because this had It's like a adventure game, kind of, and I guess I consider it a dungeon crawler, but there was like lots of puzzles in there, which I found like, really? How are they putting that all together? But they totally pulled it off. And what actually made it really cool was we had it up on your TV. So instead of using like our little phones or like a tablet, we had all the action on the TV. So we could just all look there when we had to like, do a puzzle, or if it showed like what things we had to like fight or whatever. But what you do in this game is you all start in one room and you kind of start with some tiles out, and then you kind of just like explore out. And as you move out, you add more tiles, and then things will pop up on those tiles, and then you'll go and kind of, search them, or you'll move into a different room. And then there will of course be some bad guys that come out and you need to fight them, and you'll do a lot of skill checks in this and get damage and you might go insane. Kayla ended up going insane. And first she was totally injured and then she went insane. And we were so close to winning this game, but it was like we needed one more turn, I think. But it was still quite fun because the story is funny because we listened to the story and then we all took off in different directions. And the beginning of the story, it told us, well, there was a butler screaming over something in the pantry, and we totally ignored that. We didn't even go over there. So then a few turns later, well, he ended up dying because we didn't even go look. And we're like, oh yeah, we probably should have went there. But no, it was really fun, and you collect different like weapons and like potions and all different kinds of things that can help you. Clues, you're trying to get clues that I think that like, because you don't even know what you're trying to accomplish at the beginning, so you kind of have to figure that out, and then you kind of have to go and try to fulfill that. But we were very close, but I would definitely love to play this again. And yeah, that was my number 3, Mansions of Madness.
Very nice. Great game. My number 3, you've already talked about. It's a crossover. And that is Scandaloh. I was so impressed with this game. Like, I love Awkward Guest. I might like Scandaloh even better. I don't know why this game got bad reviews, because it is so good. Now, one of the things that I heard was the theme. Some people didn't like that it was, because in this game you need to figure out which celebrity has a scandal and what the scandal is, and which journalist is reporting it, or which the source is, and what newspaper is reporting it. So you're trying to put all of these things together. But I like the hint board, like the way that you're keeping track of everything, better than I did for Awkward Guests. And when I played Awkward Guest, I was so impressed, so amazed with it. I was like, oh my God, I must have this game. And I went and searched for it. So when Scandaloh, I heard it was coming, I was like, okay, super excited about it. I'm going to want this one. And then it was so good. It was so good. It was so satisfying. And then this one kind of a little bit different too, because you could be like, okay, well, tell me about this blue area, and then blue area can compensate all sorts of different things, not necessarily too specific. And the trading of the clues, and there was one of those that would kind of come up, and if you're watching the show, you can kind of, or on YouTube, you can see that it'd be like, okay, so how much weight does this gossip has? And it'd be like, okay, well, you got the 1, or you got 2, and you got the 3. Well, if you got 1, 2, and 3, it's no longer gossip, it's fact. So then that's the thing. But it could have one that just has 1 floating around and it's actually just gossip. It wasn't actually part of what was going on. It was good. Such a great deduction game. I absolutely love it. The artwork is cool. Like, you put the discarded cards, goes into this little camera that holds the cards. If there is ever, because mostly in a 2-player game, if I've ever asked for stuff that Carla didn't have any information to provide, it's not a waste. You get to flip a couple cards over, right? But that's flipped. Everybody can see. So then be like, okay, well, then we get to flip a couple cards, and then we take notes of those information. And It's so good. It is so
Yeah,
good. And I
it's
think it was
fun.
like, yeah, $19. It was like
I
no
know.
brainer. I was
I
like,
should
I
have
don't
bought a
know.
copy for myself. What an
I don't know
idiot.
what. Yeah, it was so. Yeah, I
I
thought
think
you
it was
did.
like 16 actually, something
Oh my
stupid.
God.
Yeah.
It was unreal. It was
Yeah.
completely worth it. It was
Yeah.
completely worth it. This game is amazing. Now there's Awkward Guest 2 as
Yeah,
well
I
that's
have
coming out.
that. I
Okay,
did
so
get
have you
it.
played?
No, not yet. I'm still trying to
Okay.
learn it.
So that one I'm assuming is going to play kind of a combination of both. I don't know. I ended
Well,
up not getting Awkward Guest because I had yet to play Scandaloh. And I should have because I just love these games so much.
yeah.
But Lee doesn't. So it
Yeah,
doesn't
John's
get
not a
played
huge fan of
just
them
with
either.
my family so much, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's good then. When you come, you can play Scandaloh.
Yeah.
When I go, we can play Awkward Guest too
Yes.
and
That's
Awkward
right.
Guest, and then we're all set. But yeah,
Exactly.
such an amazing game.
Yeah.
Scandaloh is my number 3.
All right, my number 2 is Galactic Cruise. Now, this was the big, heaviest one we played, I think, of the whole marathon. I'm pretty sure. You had this one. No. Did we have this one? Oh, we had this one set up the second marathon for when Kayla came around 6.
Yeah.
So we played a couple games before that, but then we set this one up, and it's awesome. It's like, it has a Vital Lacerda feel to it. You are all having these different spaceships that you are sending off on people. You're sending people off on different cruises, like galactic cruises. And how you do that is there's all these different player actions in the middle, and you have 2 workers to start with, and you'll go to one and you will collect, different rooms. You will maybe even buy a new kind of rocket. You need to get resources because you need your fuel, you need your food, and you need your, what's the third resource in there? Fuel, food,
It's an oxygen.
oxygen, right? You need all those things, and you have to have enough rooms for your people, or you need because what did we need? We need 3 rooms. Oh, because yeah, each of the rooms connect to each other, and then as they connect, there's a spot for a person. So every 2 rooms can kind of hold a person. So you need, like, if you want to bring 2 people along, because first you kind of the first step is to get the, what is it?
The blueprint.
Itinerary, or what's it called?
Oh, okay, yeah. So you would schedule your
Schedule it, right? So you schedule it, and then it'll decide like how many people and where you're going, what you're doing. So you can do that, and then you're gonna kind of get your rooms, and you're gonna get your resources, and when you got everything, all your stuff in a group, then you're gonna take off, and that's another action that you would do on your board. So you take off. You're going to get some points and things, and then each round you might go to different spots on this cruise. So you might go to like this purple planet, and that does like all the yoga stuff. Like, and the themes of all the stuff is really cool because you do different things in each of these different colored like planets or whatever. And so as you're doing these things, then you can go, you have this little chip that as soon as you take off, you put it on your board, and then you can place them into these different, are they planets or room? No, not rooms. They're different
it's the
planets
that you can visit. Yeah.
visit, right? So you're going to place those down, and those will give you ongoing bonuses, which are really cool. Some of them are like, wow, I need to do that because then everything else is cheaper. Or if I do that, I don't have to have as many rooms. I can squeeze people into rooms. Or if I do something over here, then I can, I had one really cool upgrade that let me move up that track at the bottom. Every time I moved up, I would get to move up one more time. That was really powerful. Because then as you're scoring each round, depending how many cubes you have in, I can't remember what that was called over there, that kind of decided the rounds as soon as that thing filled up with cubes. What was that called?
Yeah,
again?
there's the 3 stages, and I'm not sure what it was
I can't remember what
called
it's
either.
called, but once you fill that up, then you see who kind of has the most there. And if you have the highest of that track at the bottom, you get to, that's like one more, counts as one more for that. So that was really cool. Then you have these cards on the side that are really neat because you can go and collect them, and they give you like really cool powers throughout the game. Most of them are one time, but they're quite powerful. And then the same turn, you can go back and refill that area and then get bonuses that were underneath them. The other neat thing is, as you're placing your workers, you have these little gears that you can place. And so if I went to one spot, if I had a gear that connected other spots to it, I could do an action there and then something that is connected to me, because you're always doing 2 actions.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's neat. Like once you kind of get everything connected, you can almost go like, anywhere and then do like 3 other things that you would not, even if somebody is there, and I can't go there because I'm going to have to pay them. So I might as well go over here and I'm connected to this so I can do those things. It was really, really cool. I really liked this. The only reason I didn't back this game was because of the theme, because it was space. I said if this was like a total Caribbean cruise game, I would have been all in on this one, but I didn't back it. And I'm just glad though you have it. Ashley has it. I don't need to own it. But it was awesome. I really enjoyed this. And that was, my number 2, Galactic Cruise.
Great pick. Such a good pick that it's also my number 2, Galactic Cruise.
Really?
Because that arrived just a week before we did this. And it's funny because I had posted as like, oh, this just arrived. I can't wait to play it. And I know that I was going to play it with you. And then Travis messaged me and he's like, so game day this weekend then? Like, just so we could play it. And we ended up playing it the Sunday before. And we played it wrong. We played it so wrong. Main thing is what we did wrong is every time we were going up on that reputation track, we collected everything we passed. That's not how it works. You don't collect that. You collect if you decide to drop back down in order to collect. So we would have had a lot less resources in play for some of us. I almost never got any reputation. Same with my game with you. I'm busy elsewhere. I don't care about my reputation apparently. But we
played it right though, because
we played it right.
Yeah.
Right. So no, we did do it right. And honestly, one thing I want to point out with this is this game is massive. It takes up the whole table. Then each player have a player aid booklet that you can flip through. But it is so well designed because it was like, okay, well, I need to know more about this. In the booklet, if you need to know more, it tells you which page to go to in the rule book. So we like open the rule book so you can quickly pinpoint what it is that you're looking for. It's so well designed. I mean, it's a complex game. There's a lot going on, but it doesn't feel as complex as it really is once you know how to play. Like smooth. It's very, and then components, amazing. And then the tray, the way that the game all comes together and is so perfectly organized, and the trays have lids. And in the book, it tells you exactly, or there's a pamphlet that comes out like, about this cruise, learn about this cruise, and you open this pamphlet, but it's actually how to pack the game back up. And then like each player gets a little tray that's in the shape of a rocket.
Yeah.
It's the attention to detail to this game is unreal. It was so good. And the gameplay was so good and so satisfying. And then you have these little rooms, right? Because you got 3 different type of guests that you're going to have, like your family members, your leisure guests, or your adventure guests. And, some are going to appeal to more than one, but most would be like, hey, well, we have like an arcade here. Family's going to love that. Or there's board game rooms, or there was a board game retreat that allowed me to put more people per room in my rocket ship than I technically would have had room to, because we'll squeeze in and we'll bunk together for board game conventions. But it was just, it's such a perfectly designed game, and the way that it all came together was so well made. I absolutely really loved it. My second, been playing it correctly. I mean, I loved it when we played it wrong.
Yeah.
I love it even better when we played it right. I didn't do great in either one of the games, but it almost doesn't matter. It's so satisfying to play. And it's one of those that you have like end of game scoring that even if you're losing, you don't kind of fully know this until the end, right? It's not one of those where I'm playing defeated. Yeah. You think you have a chance the whole time you're playing. So it's great. Oh, and I didn't I have the picture. Here's a picture again. Now my version, I have the retail copy. I don't have the metal coins and that sort of stuff, and that would make it cool. I don't know that it wasn't lacking. But
what's different there from yours? You had all the wooden components.
No, mine are cardboard. Well, like,
really?
Okay, so the tile, like the advertisement is cardboard, and I think that might be wooden in the deluxe, and the coins instead of cardboard, they're metal coins in the deluxe
But you had
copy.
wooden gears, didn't you?
Yeah, the wooden gears, all of that's still the same. So honestly, you don't miss out a lot by being a retail copy at all.
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah, I think these are first-time designers too.
That's unreal. They must play a lot to like have accumulate the knowledge of all the games they've played. They might play more than you.
They probably do. I'm guessing. Because I could not design something like this.
Yeah, a great game.
Yeah. Awesome. So we went both number 2 on that one. Well, my number 1 is another crossover. And this one I absolutely love. And I just got it back to the table with you. And then I played it again after. And oh my gosh, I do love this game. This is Viscounts of the West Kingdom. I think this is my favorite of his West series. And Paladins used to be my favorite, but I think this takes it. I really love the West series. I think it's my favorite so far. But this one, it's just so awesome with the rondelle, plus the deck building, and just all the things the different actions you can do, and meaning like you do 2 actions around the top of the rondelle, and then 2 different actions if you're going around the middle. So you just kind of have to choose and figure out where, like, which card I'm going to place, because that's going to depend on my movement. You can mitigate the movement with money, but money is pretty tight in this game. So are the resources. So you're really trying to, manage everything well, but it's just such a clever game of how you slide that card on and like, okay, do I want this card to stay? So if I happen to move into your spot or you move into my spot, I can rearrange my cards, which is really cool because I can keep that character that is giving me this ongoing bonus of one more round. Or I want that card to go on the end because as soon as it drops off, I'm going to get that bonus. It's very, very thinky, but it's just like a real cool, clever combination of mechanics in this game. And I just love it the more I play it. And I remember before when you gave me your list, I was like, oh yeah, I want to play that again. I'll teach you Viscounts. Relearned it and I was so excited to play it. But it's a really good 2-player game. It would be interesting at 3 or 4 because that castle in the middle gets so full with us 2 people. And same when I played with Cherry, we were jam-packed in there. I'm like, what would we do with 3? There would probably be a lot more kicking out though, because me and you didn't play this, which if there's more than 3 of other players, you also kick them out. Oh. So we weren't doing that.
No.
But if there was 3 players in there, there would be a lot of more movement and things would be flying all over the place in there. But it would change it up a bit. But no, it's awesome. I just love it. And that was my number 1, Viscounts of the West Kingdom.
Yes, great game. Mm-hmm. My number 1 is also a crossover, and that is Mansions of Madness. I just love this game. I love the discovering, because you discover the map as you go, you discover the story as you go, and if we were good with instructions, we probably would have won. But being that we ignored all the clues that was provided to us, but it was hilarious. Like, and it was neat. Like, we picked our characters, and I was the old guy, and I got injured right away, so I could move very fast. I could only move 1 space, but I had a 2x4 and I attacked so many guys, and
you killed so many with that 2x4.
It was like, and everybody else, we just spread out.
How are you holding that thing?
I don't know. I look old, but I was pretty spry. What I can do in fear, I tell you. But yeah, so it was so interesting. Like, and then you discover the story and then how things progress, because you don't know what you're trying to do. It is Cthulhu theme. There will be cultists. We know the feel of it. You gotta be careful about becoming injured physically, but also taking too many insanity damage, because if you go insane, that's not great. And yeah, poor Kayla. Like I was having
She was
amazing
just
dice rolls.
getting Yeah, you
She
were.
was not.
She was just getting beat over and over and over.
And
And
she
I
got
had like
there.
I had speed, so I kept running around doing all kinds of things, but it didn't really help her because I'm like,
Because she
is
went,
there a
yeah,
point?
she went insane, which is fine. You can go insane once.
Yeah.
And then she got so much physical damage as well that she became permanently injured. And then she went insane again. And then kind of that's it. We lost her just as we figured out what we needed to do and accomplish it. And I just needed to make it back to the door. But I'm already injured and I only moved by one space. So it didn't happen. But it was good. It was neat.
Fun.
Like, and then that whole thing, like the story, the excitement that it creates, and then I love everything about this game. Every time I play it, it's just so epic. And yeah, having it on the big screen where everybody can watch and partake, and it's not one person controlling everything, is so good. So that's my number one, Mentions of Madness.
Yes. I have seen this game for sale recently and I'm like, oh, do I buy it? And I'm like, no, because I'm going to just play it with you guys. There's no point in me having this game. So, but yeah, I'm definitely Halloween. We are playing that again.
Oh, yes.
It was awesome. And maybe before.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, every time. I love it every time. Yeah. So, and it goes so, what was it? I can't remember if it was this one because I bought a game. No, it wasn't this one, but I bought a game. I bought an insert for a game thinking the insert was for this game. No, it was. I bought the insert for this game, but I didn't own the game yet. I thought it was another game that I had. Before. So I was like, oh, well, I guess I have to buy the game now. So I bought the game and no regrets. It is so good. So good. But yeah, so that was our top 9 game out of the 2 gaming days that we ended up hosting. Honestly, that's totally worth taking a vacation day for that. And we played so much and it was so much fun.
We should do more.
we should do more. I need more vacation.
Yes.
But that's it. Now, because we had these 2 game days and we wanted to talk about the games that we played, we pushed back what this episode would have been about. So we're pushing that back again. And next episode, and then we will talk about our top 9 micro games, which is good though, because when you came, you brought a bunch. I've been playing some of them, so I got a chance to play a lot more micro games. And we're going with games that are kind of involve 30 cards or less, or just very tiny.
And a few components, like they might have a few components, a few dice or like cubes or something, but very, very little. Something that'll easily slip into a pocket or
a jean pocket.
Yeah.
Did you play any of the one I sent with you yet?
Not yet. I've got them all lined up here, so I've got to play through those soon. Yeah. I've read some of the instructions and the rules.
Perfect. So tune in for the next one. We're going to be talking about our top 9 micro games. And yeah, it was great. So before we end this though, Carla, where can we find you?
Well, first of all, you guys should follow us on Discord. We chat a lot every day. Definitely we're chatting almost every day. Sending pictures. Mel's got the funniest memes. The best one was today of the Hughes and Q's. You gotta go look at that.
The creator of Hughes and Q's shared that on Facebook, so I shared it on our Discord because it's hilarious.
It's just a beige Hughes and Q's, the Euro version. And then one of our listeners, Matt, our friend, he's like, yeah, that's how it is for me. He's like semi-colorblind. So it's like, that's what it looks like. So funny. There's some funny ones in there. I just love them. But yeah, you can find me on Instagram. I'm at boardgamespecialist, all one word. I have a Facebook page called Red Deer Boardgame Fanatics. And Mel, what about you?
So I'm also on Instagram at Mel's_boardgame_room. My Facebook page is Mel's Board Game Room. And also the YouTube channel's Mel's Board Game Room, where you can watch our playthrough of Lords of Waterdeep. So do check that one out. But thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. And we'll see you at the next one.
Bye. Thanks for listening.